Join me, Fresh Princess, in a conversation with best-selling author Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center, where we have a conversation on how to build intimacy in your relationships and never fight again. I hope you enjoy this series and find something very meaningful to take away and apply in your relationships. Today we're going to talk about relationships.
My favorite topic.
That's excellent. One of mine too.
All right, very good.
Now, if you're not a generous person by nature, or perhaps you weren't raised with that kind of example in your house, and it was kind of all like the American culture, like everybody for themselves, how do you cultivate and how do you begin to even develop generosity?
Yeah, it's you used the word that I was going to use, cultivate, because those qualities have to be cultivated. Now, you know, a lot of people, they ask me and they lose sight of the fact of what is normal. So for many people, normal is fighting. That's what they do. They fight. They have conflict. In fact, when I bring that to their awareness, when I say something as simple to them as, you folks are fighting right now, they look at me like I've got three eyes. Like, well, this is what we do.
Right. This is how we communicate.
This is how we communicate. And I say, then I use a Dr. Phil line, how's that working for you? Or something smart like that. And of course they say, it's not working. But you ask, how does one develop this kindness and generosity? They can, if they have awareness. There's another really, really important concept. Couples have got to become aware of when are they in a good space? When are they in their authentic selves? And when do they feel safe? And when they feel safe and when they feel protected and when they feel cared for, they're able to be generous. Now, on the flip side of the coin, I teach couples to recognize, as does Dr. Gottman, I teach couples to recognize when they are what I call being in their protective selves. All that's just fancy language for when they are guarded, when they are defensive, when they are argumentative, all of those qualities. So, and I help people visually. In fact, if they go to my website, they're going to see these diagrams, and they're going to be able to see literally in visual form. Aha! Okay, so you mean, Dr. Hawkins, when I am argumentative, I am not in my authentic self. Correct. When you are blaming, you're not. When you are blame shifting, when you are defensive, you're not. When you're angry, you cannot be heard. It is that cut and dried. You have to find a way, and this takes such work. You have to find a way to calm yourself down. Now, of course, we have our mate saying to us, calm down. That doesn't work. Won't you settle down? That doesn't work. But we have to find a way, Corinne, to be able to look at what's happening within us and between us at the same time. So I use this signal to people, you've got to be doing this. How am I feeling? How am I doing? How am I feeling? Right. And how are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Right. And our brains can do that. Right. And we have to do that. We have to do that at the same time. So a healthy couple is able to feel what's going on inside, identify what's going on. Oh my goodness, I'm starting to feel threatened. Uh-oh. And then, of course, when I start to feel threatened, I start to feel protective. Now our relationship is broken, even if we keep talking. In fact, we call that a fight. Right. So even if we're calm and I am agitated inside, I'm really fighting with you. Right. So back to your question, we cultivate the capacity to calm ourselves down, to say to ourselves what others have said, famous words, it's not all about me. Right. It's not all about what's going on inside of me. My mate is agitated, they're upset. Okay, wait a second. Dr. Hawkins said agitation and anger are secondary emotions. Right. So that means, and I'll refer to my wife now, that means when Christy comes at me, she's really feeling hurt and threatened inside. And if I can look around her presentation.
Right.
If I can have the wherewithal, the awareness, the capability of saying to myself, okay, she looks angry, she sounds angry, she's upset with me, but that really means she's frightened, and she's really sad, and she's really hurt. Oh, I can now have compassion for her. My compassion, of course, calms her down. She calms down, and now we can have a dialogue. So I cultivate this capacity. On the flip side of the coin, Corinne, if I become agitated, and if I tell myself, anger's a good emotion, it's healthy, it's good to have fights, that really brings connection, and that's garbage. It doesn't. And so emotions are contagious. So I am able to hook, don't get too spooked here now, I'm able to hook your protective self, but I'm also able to hook your core self or your authentic self. Now, I can hook your protective self by becoming angry and agitated with you, and you'll feel threatened, and then you'll become agitated, withdraw. You've heard these terms, you'll either fight, not good. You'll flight, not good. You'll freeze, not good. Or you can, if you cultivate this capacity, you'll flow with me and I'll flow with you, and we will have a connection. And here's the most beautiful thing and the most important thing that I could say. If I cultivate this capacity to calm myself down, and if I understand that I can literally hook that part of you, and we can dialogue about the most difficult topics, and we can resolve problems. We can work through anything. People ask me, what do couples fight about? They fight about anything. And yet they can work through these things if they develop this authentic self, if they learn to watch for the shift, and they calm themselves down, they stay away from that shift, they work out problems, and then they enjoy each other, and they enjoy their relationship, and that's a whole lot more fun than fighting. It's simple, and it's not simple, of course. So the simplicity of it is, I have to watch for the shift inside of me. The shift is when we get triggered. The shift is when I feel defensive. Defensiveness is a really good cue. When you feel defensive, you know something's happening inside of you. Now, here's the hard part. And actually, it's really hard. So, in fact, it's really, really hard.
Know thyself?
It is. It is. It is knowing, wait a second, what's going on inside it? I'm trying to listen to you, but you've just told me that you're mad at me, and you've just told me you don't like what I'm doing, and you've just told me that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and so you've done some shaming and some blaming, and I'm, danger, danger, danger. Right. But my work is to identify, okay, wait a minute, and what I might do actually, and John Gottman talks about this, I might say to you, could we slow this down just a little bit? Right. I am really feeling overwhelmed. In fact, oh my goodness, I'm feeling kind of sad. Would you just, I really want to stay with you. What you're telling me is so important. I really want to stay connected to you. I care about you so much. But I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Right.
I cannot process this. By the way, every man that watches this video is going to be going, yes, 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 yes. And every woman...
actually feeling yes, yes, yes.
And I hope every woman that watches it is going, yes, yes, yes. It's simple, and it's not simple, of course. So the simplicity of it is, I have to watch for the shift inside of me. The shift is when we get triggered. The shift is when I feel defensive. Defensiveness is a really good cue. When you feel defensive, you know something's happening inside of you.